Hi guys! So this is actually about my next read, and my next read is going to be for the 2026 Agatha Christie Reading Challenge. And the next book for May is Labours of Hercules. So what is this book about? First published in book form in 1947, The Labours of Hercules comprises an even dozen mysteries starring Christie's most popular sleuth, Hercule Poirot. The introductory chapter of the collection sets up the rest of the book. At the dinner party, another guest compares the labors of Poirot to those of Hercules, and the little Belgian is not amused. He has already decided to retire, but makes up his mind to take on 12 great cases, each somehow reflecting the labors accomplished by Hercules as a farewell to crime solving. Yeah, right, he's not retiring. All of the cases are quite different from each other, from searching for a lost poet to hunting, small font, hunting down a particular ferocious murderer, from solving mysterious deaths of religious cult members to saving a young would-be politician from potential blackmailers. So this is a compilation, and I'm of course going to listen to it as an audiobook, and I'll let you guys know how I enjoy this compilation. So this is for this month, and stay tuned for the review, and thanks for watching. Bye. Hi guys! So this is a review of Agatha Christie's The Labours of Hercules. I read this as part of the 2026 Read Christie Challenge, and this was for May, and the theme was the best short story collection. So this was actually a very good short story collection. I gave it 5 stars, and so these are 12 cases, each corresponding to a labor of Hercules. The framework is that Poirot is about to retire and manage a garden and things. But before he does that, he is going to solve 12 cases, each corresponding to a labor of Hercules. Sometimes it's a bit of a reach, like there's a Pekingese dog that becomes a lion, but sometimes they're quite fitting. Like Cerberus is literally a dog guarding a nightclub called Hell. So this was a very fun read. Like you see, I gave it 5 stars, and while the stories were really light, there are few murders around here. There are mostly things like mysteries about missing people, dogs, blackmail, paintings, stolen objects, that sort of stuff. And another fun thing about these stories was that we got some old fan favorites coming back into the story. We have Miss Lemon, we have George, that's Poirot's butler. We also have Inspector Japp, and also we get Countess Vera Rosakov. So these were very fun to read about again, and also because these stories are light, you can read them before bed. There were 2 themes actually that kind of did tie these stories together. One major central theme was deception. People weren't who they appear to be. Other things weren't what they appeared to be. And so that was a theme. And also, interestingly, around halfway through, there's another theme that becomes emerging. And that is actually, I'm not sure if I can say this here, but cocaine. And actually, it's about how drugs are bad for you, and they ruin people's lives, and they coerce people to doing stuff that they wouldn't normally do. So that was very interesting because this was written in 47. So I wasn't aware that this was such an issue, but apparently for Agatha Christie, this was an issue. And otherwise, these are great little stories. There aren't many red herrings because they're short, they're tight, and they're fun to read. So I highly recommend this collection of stories. And I also watched the adaptation, and I'm going to talk about that in my next video. So read my written review, and you can find all the links in the link tree on my bio. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. Hi guys! So this is a review of an episode for Agatha Christie's Poirot, starring David Suchet. And this episode was titled The Labours of Hercules, and this was in season 13, which is the last season, episode 4. So this is the penultimate episode in the series. So it's just before curtain. And this was very well placed because in the original novel, well, short story collection, the framework is that Poirot is about to retire. He feels old, and it's time for him to go back to his garden. So this would be something later in his life. So that is probably why it's placed second to last. And this was an interesting adaptation because the original book is 12 short stories surrounding, all themed around the labors of Hercules. And in the movie, it's a movie length, so I can say movie. So in the movie, he actually, that's not the framework. So he's not about to retire, and he's not doing 12 cases. It's all one big case, and that case is actually featuring one of the 12 labors in the original novel, and also combining into it a lot of the other cases. There are a couple where kind of a little bit is taken out, and there's one where I don't think there was any taken, but yeah, that's that they kind of did it different, and I actually didn't mind it. It's a very good episode, well, movie episode. It's long. It's very atmospheric. So the story that they chose as like the main adaptation is the Armentian Boar, and that takes place in the Swiss Alps, and it's in a hotel high up on the hill. You can only get to it with a funicular, and Poirot goes there to investigate a very famous criminal called Marasque. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't speak French. So in the original story, he goes up to investigate Marasque, and in the adaptation, he's kind of like taking a break. And he sort of stumbles on this Marasque issue. Though actually he kind of stumbles onto it in the short story as well, but he goes deliberately up to the hotel. He doesn't intend to go to the hotel originally. Anyway, so there are, of course, several guests, but there aren't as many as you would think in such a large hotel. And that is because the hotel is off season. So this must have been before skiing was a big thing. Or I don't know, or maybe those mountains aren't skiable. I don't know a thing about skiing. Anyway, so this hotel is normally more, populated with guests during the summer time. But there are a couple of people here for winter. And this is how they actually managed to get people from other stories into this story that they're guests at the hotel. One person, so like I said in my review of the book, there are several old favorites who return in this story, and in here we only get one, Vera, the Countess, and she's here with her daughter, And it's actually interesting because in the original short story that featured her, she had a son. So here she has a daughter. And no, it's not Poirot. Okay. So, and there are a lot of things going on, as you can imagine, since this is putting in a bunch of stories into one circumstance. But it's actually done really well because the setting of a hotel isolated because there's like an avalanche and the funicular can't go. So this actually lends itself very well to a story with lots of characters and lots of problems. So yeah, it's very interesting and it's very atmospheric. I really appreciated how atmospheric this story was on the screen. And I'm not going to spoil things, but yeah, it's very twisty and turny. So that kind of different from the original one. The original wasn't this twisty and turny and things like that, but it is a lot of fun and it's very interesting. And also a bit more serious than the book was. So, but I enjoyed it a lot. I gave it 5 stars. Highly recommend. I think I think it's one of the best episodes of the series. I watched it when it first came out, so in 2013, and I haven't seen it since then, but I still remembered parts of it. So it's that memorable. Oh my God, that was 13 years ago. Yeah. So anyway, I highly recommend the whole series. Like, if you haven't seen Agatha Christie's Poirot with David Suchet, what are you doing when you're like, even if you're like not an Agatha Christie fan, you have to see that. That's so good. It's such a good show. And I may need to rewatch it again, like from the beginning, all 13 seasons. It's just so brilliant. Anyway, so but if you're going to watch just one episode to see if you like it, watch this one because it's so it was just so good. I really enjoyed it, and the camera work, just brilliant. Anyway, so yeah, watch this episode, and thanks for watching my little review, and also read the book as well. That was also 5 stars. So thanks for watching. Bye.